Stan Gibilisco here to show you an early notion of what an atom looked like. Right around the turn of the century, 1900, 1899 and 1900, scientists thought that atoms looked like little solar systems. There was a nucleus, positively charged, comprising protons, shown in black here, and neutrons, shown in, well, white with black outlines. In any case, there was something that made up a positively charged, very heavy central nucleus, like the sun in our solar system. And then negatively charged electrons would orbit the nucleus, just like planets orbit around the sun, probably all in a single plane, so that it was more or less like a little solar system. Orbits could have various radii. The larger the orbit, presumably the more electron energy existed in each of these particles. Different atoms would have different numbers of neutrons and different numbers of protons, usually identical, the same number of electrons as protons, but not always. The identity of the atom was determined by how many protons there were, just as is the case today, but the number of electrons could vary, either more electrons than protons or fewer electrons than protons. So a lot like today's model of the atom, but much simpler. The solar system model of the atom, or a primitive notion. Still, you'll find this in textbooks now and then to this day, this model of the atom, because it's a lot easier to conceive than the actual truth of the matter, if we know what that truth is. And it always seems like we know until we find out that we don't. But back then, this particular model was the commonly accepted notion of an atom. The heavier the element, the more protons there were, the more neutrons there were, and the more electrons there were. The simplest being hydrogen, with only one electron normally, and only one proton always. Helium having 2 protons. Oxygen happens to have 8 of them. But as things go, this was what scientists thought atoms looked like at one time. Like little miniature solar systems. Sometimes it would be nice if we could go back to that kind of simplicity, eh? Never to be. Stan Gibilisco signing off. Until next time, so long.